Welcome to 60 Skills. And this is the infamous weekly Q&A. That's the first one I've done in 2 months. But anyway, we're back on schedule. So again, I apologize for wearing my glasses and the resultant glare, but I can't read the screen without them. So first question. I'd like to hear you elaborate on the point where you stress the importance of learning something along the lines of engineering and the trades. Okay. Very simply put, most people attracted to meditation in the modern circles in the West are prone to delusion. A lot of what people learn in schools these days is not terribly useful. A lot of it's indoctrination and propaganda, to be honest with you. The fact of the matter is, when you are practicing hermetics, the physics in the metaphysics is how you make progress. So you need to understand that real things in the real world take real tools to turn into a reality. Whether it's the trades, doing HVAC repair, or putting a roof on a house, or engaging in petroleum engineering, what you quickly find out is that there is a process to everything. And the discipline that understanding this and understanding how it works, when applied to your brain, has a big effect upon how you address the world everywhere else. Because quite literally, karma, the world, metaphysics, magic, it's all cause and effect. You do something and something happens. When you understand this, this allows you to break things down into little concrete steps that, when put together, take you from one thing to another. This is quite literally how hermetics and esotericism and magic work in the real world. If you don't have a process for doing that, you're going to have a hard time making this stuff work. And grounding people in the reality that things simply work the way they do, not because we wish they worked a certain way, is also incredibly important in this context. So, great question. Explain the difference between astral and mental. Okay. Astral energy is a soft, timeless energy. So it's constrained by space, which is why when you're on the astral, you can see things and they have shape. Okay. Mental energy in its pure form is an expansive force that lacks boundaries. So mental things inherently are things that don't have a shape associated to them. Now, the confusion is that things live on the mental and things live on the astral. Most of what you're seeing when you engage your mental vision is actually a higher version of the astral. Because again, sensory input is inherently astral in nature. With no sensory input, you don't get anything else. So this is confusing in theory and very easy to understand in experience. So if you understand how astral breathing works or how to generate mental energy, you'll notice that they're two very distinctly different phenomena. Astral energy moves in and out of the body. It's a very soft, super slow kind of energy. And mental energy is actually much faster and expansive in nature. So, but not bound by the constraint of dimension. So hopefully that helps answer your question. And that's one of the reasons why I have coursework on this in the system. Not just to plug the coursework, but understanding the difference between the two is quite key and easy to understand from the standpoint of experience, even if it's hard to explain in the spoken word, or written word for that matter. Okay. What version or translation of the New Old Testament do you recommend for esoteric study? That's not a question I'm qualified to answer. My experiences with esoteric Christianity occurred because I was living in Jerusalem and mostly happened quite literally on the road to Damascus. So a little more about my personal history there, where I've, yes, spent time in Syria. So I've been told that that is not an uncommon experience for people who've lived in that area and traveled down some of the roads that I went down. But yeah, so I would say talk to somebody who understands these things better than I do, because it's just not a question I'm qualified to answer. Sorry. Android version of 60 Skills. Yes, we're working on it. Many people have asked me for it, and we're doing what we can. But it's taking a little longer than anticipated, so I'm going to have to ask folks to be patient. But I greatly appreciate the continued interest and understand it is something that will happen at some point, hopefully in the next year. Okay, lifestyle profession associated with each path, warrior, artist, trader. What would corresponding physical, esoteric, and energetic training be for the path of trader? More generally, what kind of training would correspond with learning the skills necessary to judge others, as you put it? The people who are on the path of the trader, their lives are horrible, really bad. They have to suffer a lot in order to earn the right and privilege to be on that path. Continual stories of one betrayal after another. The difficulty, technically speaking, for what these people have to do is they have to have a high level of competency in all of the other paths of human endeavor, warrior, healer, devotee, artist, in order to be in a position to have anything meaningful to say about someone who is esoterically misbehaving in one of those paths. It is quite literally the most demanding and most physically grueling method of developing as an individual. But they're extremely important, and they're not generally very nice people. You have to understand that their job is governed by the watch phrase, defeat stasis, contain chaos. So it's not their job to be good people. It's their job to esoterically make sure that the scales between stasis and chaos that govern this world stay in balance. And if you've ever seen one of these guys in action, it's both terrifying and horrible, because they're not nice guys. They're not designed to be nice guys. And because they're dealing with profoundly uncomfortable situations and profoundly unpleasant people most of the time. So if you're very, very lucky, you'll probably never meet one of these guys. But one of the telltale signs that one of them is active in the area is all hell breaks loose. And shortly before that, usually most of the New Agers bug out. They just leave, like rats fleeing a ship. It's pretty funny to watch the first time or two you see it, until you're there when it happens and have to deal with the ramifications of that. So my advice is avoid people like this. Whatever it is they need to do, just leave them to it. And if it's something that you're called to, you're going to find out. And in a lot of ways, you'll wish that you never were. So that's all I can really say about the path of the trader, other than the watch phrase, defeat stasis and contain chaos, defines pretty clearly what these guys do. So otherwise, if you like today's lecture, please hit the subscribe button and give us a like down below. And if you want to learn more about 60 Skills, please check out the links in the details portion of the video down below. Otherwise, have a great day, and I hope you see you again soon. Be well.